Thank you. Really? Really? I'm not loud enough?
You're getting there. You're warming up. You're warming
I
up.
don't believe that for a second. I don't usually use a microphone, but I'm a little bit at a loss for words for a second. Hold on, let me get my bearings. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here with you today. Thank you so much for the nomination of the Conservative Party for Lieutenant Governor. I can't tell you what it means to me. So, my name is Alison Esposito, and I'm not a politician. I never saw myself on this stage. Never. As Fran said, I was supposed to be the first female police commissioner. I was definitely going to be the first female chief of the emergency service. In fact, that was very close to happening very recently. But I, in 24 years, realized that the seat I held wasn't enough. It wasn't enough, quite frankly. So I'm 24 years with the New York City Police Department. A little bit about myself. My father was a New York City police chief. He did almost 38 years. And early on, my father instilled in me the desire for service. The idea that those who could not protect themselves deserved to be protected. And it was something I lived with all of my life. Whether it be a lifeguard, working in an ambulance, an EMT, I had to be part of the service. I became a cop in my father's footsteps. I started out in Midtown. I was a patrol cop. Then I went to the now disbanded anti-crime unit because policing took a turn. In the anti-crime unit, I targeted violent street crimes and subway crimes, and we took some of the worst criminals off the street. I was very proud of that. One thing I always wanted to do was join the emergency service unit. That's the NYPD's SWAT rescue team. It was an amazing experience. I served with some of the best, and that has gone through my entire career. I've had the privilege of working with the best cops in every avenue, in every area of the city. One common thing: their heart. That doesn't come out in the media narrative, but I've seen their hearts every single day in a multitude of ways of service. After emergency service, I became a sergeant. I went to the South Bronx. An amazingly diverse community. I enjoyed the heck out of it. Learned a lot. After that, I actually was accepted into the FBI National Academy. I spent 3 months in Quantico, learning death investigations, lie detections. Another amazing experience. I came back to the New York City Police Department. I threw my hat back into Manhattan. I came back, albeit in suit, and I took over some of the detective squads. I was the commanding officer of the 7th Detective Squad. I was also in the 9th and the Midtown North Detective Squad. Then I was promoted to lieutenant. I went back to the South Bronx, in the 4-3 precinct. Same thing, diverse community, learned a lot. I wasn't there too long when I was tasked with taking over the forensics collection team, like a crime scene unit. And I realized you don't know what you don't know. So until you walk in somebody else's shoes. Because when I was a squad commander in Midtown, I was screaming at the evidence collection team constantly to do their job. And I had no idea what their job was. It's a true statement. I thought, law and order and crime scene, I didn't know. Okay? But what I found was the most passionate cops that were policing in a different way. They would get excited about latent prints and DNA hits, and I was like, okay. But they were amazing, amazing cops, and again, I learned a lot. After that, they tasked me with taking over, not taking over, but becoming a part of the Manhattan Gang Squad. And we took some pretty bad criminals off the street. It was an amazing time. We did some large-scale takedowns, state and federal. 38 was the number for one of our takedowns. And these were the worst of the worst. Multiple homicides, gun running, trafficking, horrible. And I remember the day of the takedown, going back to my officers' hearts. I remember the day of the takedown. Helicopters were up, the community was out, gang members were being taken off the street, and two of my detectives were standing over a vacant playground. They were just staring. And I looked at them, and I guess it was kind of a half joke, but a little serious, when I walked over and said, "What the heck am I paying you for? What are you doing?" And they turned around and they looked at me and they were like, "Boss, you know how long it's been since a kid played in this playground?" And I stopped dead. I stopped dead. You're not going to hear that with the media narrative out there. I can't wait, boss, to see Monday morning to see if the kids are back out in this playground. It was amazing. From there, I was promoted, and I went as a captain, threw my hat to Brooklyn North. I was the executive officer of the 77th Precinct, and then the 73rd Precinct in Brooklyn. After that, I was promoted and transferred. I was promoted to deputy inspector and transferred to the commanding officer of PSA 3, which is responsible for 7 police precincts. It's the housing within the 7 police precincts. After that, transferred to my most recent command, where I would call my last command in the NYPD, the 7-0 precinct in Brooklyn South. And again, every single portion of my career has taught me lessons that have put me here. Working with the housing developments in New York City showed me that everything on the media, everything coming down from our left-wing politicians and supporters of BLM isn't true. I had the people of those communities, the underserved communities, the minority communities, begging for their cops. And the relationship that my cops had with them, now I marked myself a member of their community because I spend more time at work than I do at home. And the relationship is not what's portrayed on TV. And as Fran said, that's when I realized the seat I held in the NYPD wasn't enough. In order for me to save the city, save the state, protect our officers, I had to leave my beloved New York City Police Department, and believe me, it took everything. But I do that joyfully, and I do that with a feeling of gratitude for having experienced it, and a feeling of exhilaration because we are now embarking on getting the leadership in New York State that we need for change. When Lee Zeldin asked me to be a part of his team, I was floored. I was humbled, I was honored. He is an amazing leader and will be an amazing governor. I am honored to run alongside an Army man, a proven fighter of rights. I am humbled to accept your nomination today, and I want you to know that I will do everything. You will have an ear in Albany, a place that has been deaf for far too long. We will be. With gratitude, I accept this nomination, and I will tell you I will work day in and day out along with Governor Zeldin. And we will bring New York back to glory and freedom.